start speaking to your children when they are children, start to educate them about it. Make it an open conversation and do it with objective evidence, not just don't take drugs because I say so, but provide them with objective information why it is not a good idea to take any drugs. Do not become too overcomplacent and feel that this cannot happen to your child. Be always aware that this is an age of risk and that any kid can be vulnerable. So they need to open the dialogue. It's a very confusing, very intensely emotional issue for a parent to recognize that their child may have a problem of drug abuse. Because of course parents have the expectations that their children are above these behaviors, and they need to know that drug experimentation, there's a tremendous amount of pressure from peers for drug experimentation. And the more a kid feels that their friends are taking drugs, the greater the risk they are of taking them. Or the same thing in a school. If they feel that their peers are taking drugs, they are much greater risk of taking drugs themselves. So they need to know that in the school system there are these dynamics, some of which they actually per se cannot control, but what they can control is the relationship with their children and their involvement, and provide them with behaviors that actually will allow them to engage in things that make them excited. I think that an adolescent that is bored is an adolescent that is at risk of experimenting with drugs. So give them areas where they can explore through art, it can be, or through physical activity. Engage them in things that will give them pleasure. The other thing that we are also, from investigation, factors that make a kid more vulnerable, of course, if there is an underlying psychiatric disease that has not been diagnosed, if the kid is not doing well at school, is inattentive, it actually has crying spells, that may be hiding a psychiatric disorder. That can put that kid at risk for taking drugs. Evaluate them, don't ignore. The other element is that shows is kids with poor social skills may be at greater risk for taking drugs because when they are intoxicated with them, they may feel more at ease. And it's so incredibly important for an adolescent to be liked, to be part of a group, that they will in many instances just take the drug and drink in order to feel comfortable with the others. So if a kid doesn't have good social skills, there are ways of doing interventions to remediate them. And many of the behavioral interventions have targeted, for example, to teach kids how to say no. But there are also behavioral interventions to teach kids social skills so that they feel more comfortable when they're interacting with others. This is sort of, again, the parents who can actually recognize in their children where there may be difficulties on making friends, where their kids may be isolating, where their kids may be failing at school, or they are not participating on activities and have too much time in their hands where they are bored and not doing anything. Those are risks moments, and that's where a parent can help structure the life of their kids in ways that minimizes those situations.